Oh boy, Jeremy. Episode 10.
What?
Can you even believe it?
What does that even mean?
It means we gotta celebrate a little bit.
Like with fireworks?
Sure.
And vuvuzelas?
Oh, okay.
And kazoos?
Yeah,
And cake?
that's cool too.
All right, well, let's light the lights.
Speaking of which, got a couple of those on my dashboard.
That's not so bad.
Might as well talk about it though.
All right. We are also going to talk about how ABS systems work. And backed by popular demand, name that noise.
That's so wrong, Jeremy. It's called What's That Noise?
Whatever the hell it is, Matt. Engine Noise Podcast is brought to you by OneIauto.com. Quality car parts that ship quickly and come with thousands of free online videos that walk you through your installs. With OneIauto, you can save a bunch of money and feel empowered by repairing it yourself. OneIauto.com. Hey, welcome to the Engine Noise Podcast for do-it-yourselfers like me who don't mind getting their hands dirty. I am your car guy, Jeremy Nutt.
And I'm Matt. I'm the guy. Just a guy. Like your average Joe, but not Joe. Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Let's talk about some ABS problems, Matt.
I would love to talk about some ABS problems.
Yeah. Have you ever had an ABS situation where you felt the skidding of the wheels?
I have never felt it. I may have felt it, but I have no idea if it was that.
It's kind of scary. I feel like it's more scary to have the ABS actually function than to not have it function. Although definitely safer to have ABS.
What exactly would I feel if I did have that situation?
ABS stands for Antilock Braking System. The way that it works, it keeps the wheels moving so that you can keep traction on the road. Because you don't want your tires to lock up. As soon as they lock up, you basically lose all control of your vehicle and it slides, wherever it chooses.
Yeah.
But if you keep the wheels moving, then you have control over which direction the tires are going and therefore which direction the vehicle is going, and hopefully you won't crash. So, if you are driving down the street, you're cruising safely, you're obeying the rules of the road, and then a bear jumps out in front of you.
Uh-oh.
And you mash on the brake pedal. Their sand is now on the right side of the road. The bear is coming out of the woods.
Right.
And the traction you have on the nice bare pavement, on the left, you'll be driving along, you'll hit the brakes, you'll stand on the brake pedal, you lose traction on the right, but you have traction on the left. Now your wheels are moving at different rates, and as soon as the car sees that it's going at different rates, it starts pulsing the brakes. It goes like on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And you can feel it in the brake pedal, and you can hear it too, because it goes like wah, 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 wah.
Oh.
And the pedal will actually like bounce a little bit. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I've never had that happen.
It's something you should experience. If you haven't
I'd
had it
rather
happen,
not.
Okay, so here's a safe way of testing it out. You can do this anywhere, and it's pretty safe to do. Go find like a dirt road or a sand pit or any place that has like just straight up dirt.
Yeah.
Maybe a backyard. Go back there at probably more than 5 miles an hour, because I think for ABS to function, I think you have to be over a certain speed, and it might be like 5 miles an hour. Get over like 5 miles an hour, and then just romp on the brake pedal.
That sounds fun.
You'll be surprised at how much traction and like steering you still have while this is happening. Obviously, the faster you go, the more danger you're going to be in.
Yeah.
So don't go risking your life over this. I don't want to be responsible for this.
What if my ABS doesn't work? Because my brake light and my ABS light are on in my car.
More than likely, you're going to lock up your back wheels first, and then your front wheels, depending on how hard you push the pedal or where the slippery spots are. And you pretty much just lose control. And your truck will just kind of go willy-nilly wherever it wants.
Okay. So I guess at 5 miles an hour won't be too.
Yeah, exactly. At 5 miles an hour, you're not going to crash into the woods.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe you will.
So that bear story, is that what happened to you?
No, that is actually not what happened to me. Totally made up.
I'm not trusting you with anything anymore.
The real story is I got a 2005 Chevy Avalanche in trade for a broken four-wheeler. Are you ready for this story, Matt?
I'm sitting here.
The four-wheeler I got in trade for a broken toolbox. And the broken toolbox I got for free. So I got the free toolbox, traded it for a four-wheeler, traded the four-wheeler for the Chevy Avalanche. The Avalanche has 270-something thousand miles on it. And when I got it, it had been sitting for like a year plus because the transmission lines were broken on it, so it couldn't move.
Yeah.
And the guy basically said, okay, this truck has 270,000 miles on it. I'm just going to go buy a new truck. So he parked it in his yard. A year later, he trades it to me, lucky guy I am. And then it needed...
Well, you basically got it for free. But...
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely benefited from the deal, but this truck needed everything. Every light on the dashboard was on. it was like Christmas lights inside. You turn the key on and there was like flashing, there was buzzing, there was
Just
like
leave it. It's cool.
I know, it looked really cool, but the inspection person didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I had to fix some of these things. One of the things that was wrong with it was the ABS light was on and the red brake light was on. The red brake light is usually one of two things. Either your parking brake is on or you're low on brake fluid. Both are things you want to tend to.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to drive with your parking brake on, because then you're that guy where you drive by somebody and everybody's like, what is that burning smell? So you don't want to be that guy. In my case, my parking brake wouldn't release all the way. So I fixed that by putting new parking brake parts on it. Then I had an ABS light on. The ABS module / ABS pump, it's all like one unit. That was dead. What was happening before I got the truck, the ABS was constantly running. So anytime you push the brake pedal, you would be in an ABS situation.
Oh,
It's a little fun, a little exciting, a little dangerous.
just not how it's supposed to work.
No, not at all. You just drive down the road and the ABS would constantly be pumping. Anytime you lightly pushed on the brake pedal, it would just start going wah, wah, wah.
Weird.
And it would get a little scary. This was constantly happening, and it happened so much for so long that it burned out the ABS pump.
Makes sense.
When that happened, it turned the ABS light on, because now it doesn't have ABS. The reason that this was happening was because there was rust buildup under the ABS sensors in the front wheels. This is a really common issue on Silverados, Sierras, Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons, all those big Chevy SUVs and full-size trucks. There's rust that builds up under the ABS sensors, and you need to clean that off, get rid of the rust, clean up the metal and the steering knuckle, and then put the sensor back in, and then the problem's solved.
Rust is the worst.
It really is, isn't it?
It's the devil.
I know. So this happened so much that it killed my ABS pump. So first things first, I ordered a new / used ABS pump, because a new one is like $1 bazillion.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So I replaced the ABS pump and the module that's attached to it. I removed the rust, reinstalled the ABS sensors, and now all is well. Now the brakes feel better than I could have ever imagined them feeling. So yeah, that's kind of my ABS story.
Yeah.
It's a scary / fun thing to have, but it keeps you safe. Actually, in my Subaru, I have a newer Subaru Impreza. When I first got it, I was driving down the street, probably wasn't paying attention as well as I should have been, and I locked up my wheels so hard, and then it starts like pumping and stuff, and it definitely saved me from crashing into the car in front of me. No doubt about it. The craziest thing was there was a father and daughter standing waiting for the bus, and they were like just on the side of the road. And I basically like skidded past them in like an ABS skid. So I'm like pulsing my brakes, smoking my tires.
Dad turned and was like, don't be like that guy.
That was a scary moment. That's ABS in a nutshell, Matt.
Pretty cool. Comes in every car now, doesn't it?
Pretty much. I think you'd have to get a really, really base model car to have no ABS. Hey, Matt, you know how you love Transformers?
I love Transformers.
Well, you know how their tagline is more than meets the eye?
More than meets the eye. Of course I do. Come on.
All right. Well, 1A Auto is actually a lot like Transformers because they have more than just YouTube videos.
Really? Are you Decepticoning me right now?
That was so lame, Matt. So they actually have like 100,000 different auto parts on their website, free shipping, multiple warehouses so they get to you fast, and obviously the YouTube videos. A lot of people find them on YouTube, but then they realize...
They don't realize that also sell parts.
Yeah, exactly. They
wow.
sell auto parts. That's the business. They have a team of car experts. They're legit. They wouldn't add any parts that they don't put on their own cars.
Mm-hmm.
They make sure that the car parts they're adding to the website are quality, they're made right, they're tested, and they'll knock your socks off. 1AAuto.com. Like Transformers, more than meets the eye. A lot of people ask me about lights on their dashboard, Matt. I would say once every 2 weeks, probably somebody,
Wow.
Yeah.
You the dashboard guy?
I'm pretty much the dashboard guy. I mean, that's what I go by is dash guy. They'll say, hey, I have this light on my dash. I don't know what it is. Do I need to worry about it? Do I need to bring it to a mechanic? Can I just turn it off? What the heck is it?
Can I pull the light out?
Can I pull the bulb out? Yeah, exactly. That is something I think is worth talking about. What do you think?
Sure. That makes sense because I have lights on my dash.
What kind of light?
About 10 minutes after I drive, the ABS and the brake light come on.
Okay. The reason that happens is because you have a brake problem. Typically, most cars, or most newer cars, they have four-wheel ABS. Imagine you have a gear on each wheel. So as the wheel spins, the gear spins. And then right next to each gear is a little sensor that measures how many teeth are passing by as the wheel is spinning. So as the wheel is spinning, it's measuring 1 tooth, 2 tooth, 3 tooth, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I know how to count, Jeremy.
As these wheels are spinning, the ABS sensors are measuring how fast the teeth are going by. If they suddenly lose track of how many teeth are going by, your ABS will go, okay, it's time for an ABS situation.
Oh.
And it'll start pumping your brakes and slowing your car down, assuming you're pushing the brake pedal. It works the same way for traction control. If you're going too fast, the sensors are measuring how fast your wheels are going, and if suddenly you lose traction, it might actuate a brake to grab one wheel or grab the other wheel, and it will basically get traction back again. Most new cars have ABS sensors on each wheel, and if your wheels are turning at different rates and you're pushing the brakes, then it knows that one wheel must be slipping. So in your situation, you probably have some sort of problem with one of the sensors or possibly the ABS pump or something like that. The computer, the ABS module that runs the whole system is sort of freaking out and it doesn't really know what to do. It probably doesn't know how fast the wheels are spinning. It's really common in our area of the world where rust is like a real issue.
Yeah.
To have rust build up on the ABS sensors and it pushes them away from the gear that spins. And then suddenly the ABS sensors don't know how fast your wheels are turning. So it's super common. The other thing that happens is the gears that I was mentioning, sometimes they're made out of aluminum and they corrode so much that they actually break off.
That's unfortunate.
Or they'll build up with corrosion, or they're full of mud, or you name it. Rocks are stuck in there. There's all kinds of weird situations that can clog up the ABS system and throw the computer into a panic attack.
I actually hate traction control.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
Huh.
I wish I could just push four-wheel drive and then just have it work like a regular four-wheel drive vehicle.
Yeah, you need to buy an older truck then.
I have an older truck.
No, I'm talking old. Get a 1980s K5 Blazer or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just a manual four-wheel
and
drive
just blaze
lever.
around.
Just blaze up that trail, Matt.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
well, it
talking
just
about.
kicks in and I don't feel it works properly,
Yeah. So
it surprises you and you're like, oh my God.
that's because it's like using your brakes to grab wheels that are spinning too fast.
Yeah.
So if you're not expecting that,
Makes sense now.
yeah, traction control works the same exact way as ABS, but when you're accelerating rather than braking.
Right.
So if you're accelerating really hard and one of your wheels starts to slip, the ABS sensor knows your one wheel is spinning too fast, and it'll take the brake and it'll grab that wheel. And then it gives all the power to the other wheels that are still spinning. It's a pretty cool system when it works. One cool new thing that a lot of drag racers are doing, they put traction control on their drag racing cars. They do this
For what purpose, Jeremy?
for traction, of course. What people do when they're drag racing is a major challenge for them is traction. They might have 2,000 horsepower that they're trying to put down to the ground, and if the tires slip, they're going to go slower. They will put traction control on the rear tires, and as soon as the wheels start to slip, it will back off ignition timing and lower the horsepower of the engine so that it slows down the tires and gets traction again. And then as soon as it has traction again, it'll advance the ignition timing, and suddenly the engine has all the horsepower again, and they can blast down the track.
Essentially, they could go pedal to the metal.
And it'll
just drive itself, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any drag car just drives itself. But new Corvettes and new sports cars, new GTRs, brand new Mustangs, all these cars have traction control systems that are just like that, where you can basically hop in the car, put it in first gear, and just bury the throttle as hard as you possibly can. And the computers will be the nanny and just be like, okay, you're going too fast, you're going too slow. We're going to give you traction over here, but not over there. We're going to hit the brakes for you. And
You must hate those vehicles. You can't do burnouts.
Well, you'd turn it off.
Oh, well, okay.
So let's talk about most cars have a lot of lights on the dashboard. When they go off, it sometimes looks a little like Christmas, which can be fun in the wintertime,
It can be.
but it can also be bad news.
Yeah.
So the first one, and I would say the most common one, is the tire pressure light. If you have a car that's, mid-2000s or newer, it probably has a tire light. And
it's more than likely on.
And it's more than likely on because they are always on.
Yeah.
Tires are one of the most neglected things on a car, though, because people just assume their tires have air if the car is driving down the road, which is not the case, and it makes me panic when I'm in traffic and everybody around me has flat tires. Because it's
I'm
just...
kind of a stickler when it comes to the tires, too.
I am crazy about it. I'll be like driving around with my friends or whatever, and I will just point out all the cars that have flat tires, and it makes people crazy because I'm so obsessed with it. It's kind of important to look at, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's usually a procedure to reset that light. So if you rotate your tires, it may need to drive 30 miles an hour for 10 miles.
I was not aware of that.
Moral is, if your tire light is on, just check your tire pressure. The recommended tire pressure is on a sticker inside your driver's side door. Open up your driver's side door. You're probably going to be there once in a while.
Yeah.
Just glance at the sticker. It probably says like 32 PSI cold or something like that. Fill up your tires. All right, let's go to the next one. Check engine light. If there's a problem with your engine, your computer's going to know about it, and it's going to turn on the check engine light. And you don't know what it is until you throw a scan tool on it, plug it into the OBD2 port, you read the little code, and it'll probably say like PO400 or something like that.
It could be a whole slew of things.
Yeah,
right?
and then you translate it over, and it's like, oh, you need some other part.
Mm-hmm.
So to check the check engine light and actually figure out why the check engine light is on, you need to connect an OBD2 scanner to the port under your dash. Well, it's usually under your dash. I believe our sponsor, 1AAuto.com, actually carries these now. You plug it in, and it'll give you a general direction of what to look for. Like it might be a code for an O2 sensor or something like that, or a mass airflow sensor, or a loose gas cap even. You'll have to get the code from the scan tool and then sort of translate that into what the problem might be. If you get a check engine light, you're going to need to fix it at some point. You might as well just bite the bullet and figure out what that code is with a scan tool and start diagnosing.
Yep.
The cool thing about, as I mentioned, our sponsor is they sell the scan tool, but then they also sell the parts to fix it. So,
which is perfect.
Yeah, once you do use the scan tool and you figure out, oh, I do need an O2 sensor or whatever it may be, you can usually buy the part right from them and do it yourself. Comes with a video, all that stuff. Next on the list is coolant temp, which I have been told by some friends looks like a sailboat.
Yeah.
Coolant temperature matters. You do not want to overheat your engine.
Yeah.
It's
that's
one of like
bad thing.
It just destroys stuff so hard. If you lose all of the antifreeze or water or whatever kind of liquid you have in your engine and it overheats, it's just game over. You blow your head gasket, you could seize up your engine, all the bad things
Sounds
happen.
fun.
Yeah, you don't want to overheat your engine. If you start seeing the sailboat come on, aka the coolant temp light, once that comes on, stop your engine. Pull over, turn off your engine, and don't overheat it.
Yeah.
You're saving a lot of money by not overheating it further. Unfortunately, you'll have to get it towed usually, unless you're real crafty and you somehow get some more coolant in it or figure out what the problem is real quick. You'll probably want to get it towed to a shop and just get it fixed because coolant overflows. That's one to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Next on the list, oil. Sometimes you have an oil level light, sometimes you have an oil pressure light. That is another one that you should really pay attention to. Mm-hmm. If your oil pressure is low, sometimes your oil pump is dying, sometimes you just don't have enough oil in your engine, but oil is like the lifeblood of your engine. If you don't have oil in your engine, you're gonna ruin it. It's much like the coolant light. This is an important one where if that light comes on, you're on borrowed time already and you need to pull over and just stop. Check your oil, make sure you're not eating your engine.
Yeah.
Matt, have you ever blown up an engine or had a major situation where you needed to pull over because lights were turning on?
I have never blown up an engine. I have had 2 separate occasions I've had an overheating issue. One of them, I knew the cause right away. I was in line getting burgers and... Hold on.
At a fast food chain restaurant.
Coolant line burst. At the time, I didn't know what it was. There was just a bunch of steam coming up from the hood. So
did you finish the drive-thru?
Of course, I got my burgers.
Okay.
And then I was like, that's weird. And then I just started driving home. And I saw the gauge, went into the red. I pulled over. I stopped.
And you were like, this burger tastes like antifreeze.
Yes.
Why do my fries taste so sweet?
That was the time where I pulled over and I stopped the car and I'm like, what is going on? I was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
What could this be? And I opened the coolant
thing.
And it just blew up everywhere.
Yeah. Here's a pro tip. Don't open the coolant reservoir on your engine when your engine is hot.
No,
because
it's
it
a
explodes.
no-no. And it is hot.
Some engines will get it up to like 230 degrees normally.
Yeah.
And if things go wrong, it could boil over and get even hotter than that. Yes, that is hotter than boiling, but in a pressurized system, the coolant can actually be hotter than 212 degrees.
Yeah.
It can be at a higher than boiling temperature because it's in a pressurized system. So when you pop that open, it explodes like a volcano. It is awesome to see, but you do not want to be that person.
Yeah, you don't want it to touch your skin.
Yeah, because it will remove it for you.
Yeah.
Next up is the battery light. That's one that matters as well because you're not going to drive much further with a battery light on. Usually that means that your alternator stopped charging. Therefore, it turns the light on, and at that point, you're running on battery voltage alone. You're not regenerating electricity. Once your battery runs out of electricity, your car no longer moves.
Yeah, it's super annoying. You just gotta get it fixed.
Yeah, if you have an old car, the battery actually lasts quite a long time because all it has to do is like provide spark to your engine.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not running your lights and your radio and your heat and all that jazz, the battery will actually last a while. But on a newer car that has all kinds of
bells and whistles
and gadgets and gizmos, they...
Ooh, you just did a whistle with it.
Oh, gizmo. Yeah, if you have a newer car with all sorts of bells and whistles, then the battery actually won't last very long. There's too many computers that are running off the battery and whatnot. So you want to get to the nearest parking lot probably because you don't have much time left. I raced my truck once. I broke the alternator. I probably drove a good 5 miles. When I was pulling into my driveway, my truck shut off. And at that point, it was completely dead where you'd turn the key and there was nothing.
So you got lucky.
So I got about 5 miles on my battery itself.
Not long.
It probably wasn't a great battery to start with, but yeah, 5 miles is about what I got. The last couple on the list are super easy because it's airbag lights.
Yeah.
If you get an airbag light on, technically you could ignore it if you don't ever want to get hit in the face with an airbag. But at the same time, it could save your life.
Right.
So I would probably not ignore that one. Anytime I've seen an airbag light on, it was always fixed very quickly after. So like one of my cars was a flood car. It was actually underwater at one point. That car had a airbag light on because the airbag had like gotten rusty because the car was underwater.
Yeah.
So I had kind of lost faith in the fact that it might work.
Uh-huh.
So I went ahead and got a new airbag for it. Next on the list is washer fluid. Washer fluid, doesn't really matter. You gotta have kind of a fancier car to have a washer fluid light anyways. I don't think a lot of cars have that light.
Yeah, I've never seen that light actually.
Or maybe my cars are just kind of junky enough where they don't have that light.
I don't even think it exists, Jeremy.
Oh no, it exists, Matt. Yeah, I'm sure of it. So yeah, washer fluid, you can ignore until you get to the local gas station and get your washer fluid filled. Last on the list, maintenance light. Sometimes vehicles have maintenance lights. They're different than check engine lights. They are just telling you, like, hey, it's time to get your oil changed because you've reached whatever amount of miles
Which is a handy light to have.
It is. So that's sort of a wrap-up on lights. The short version is, if a light turns on in your dash, you should probably get it checked out.
Probably a good idea.
Unless it's like washer fluid, then we'll let it slide.
Yeah.
Who needs a washer fluid light?
Whatever.
Nobody needs that.
All right, Jeremy. Back by popular demand is a segment I like to call What's That Noise? You remember this one?
I remember this one. Yeah, I like this one.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. First noise. Here we go. What's that noise, Jeremy?
That's the noise you don't want your engine to make. I might need to listen to it one more time, but it's definitely like bad internal engine noises. Can I listen to it one more time?
Sure.
I'm going to go with a bad connecting rod bearing.
Wow, Jeremy. You're wrong.
Really? What is it?
Yeah, it's a bad CV joint.
No.
Yeah.
I would have sworn that was like a connecting rod bearing.
Well,
yeah.
You were wrong.
All right, well, I can be wrong. That's fair. Let's try the next one.
Okay, here we go.
Is this a trap? Power steering. Power steering pump.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Power steering pump. Pretty obvious one to you, huh?
Yeah, that's a really common noise. If you live in a climate where there is winter and there is cold, snowy, awful weather,
yep,
that is what power steering pumps sound like in the winter.
Ugh.
You pretty much start up your car and it just goes moo. It sounds like a whale that's like trying to like find its mate. It's just like moo, moo. So yeah,
you hearing whales finding mates a lot?
Yeah, I mean I pay attention to it when I'm out fishing.
Okay, we got one more for you, Jeremy.
All right,
last one.
What?
One more time.
All right.
It is not a robot.
Okay, not a robot. Yeah, there's not much to work with there, Matt. One more time. My best guess is the starter solenoid is kind of freaking out, but I think we did that one the last time or a while ago, so I feel like you wouldn't do that one again. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to go with starter on this.
Well, you'd be right.
Okay.
Did it again. It's a throwback.
Cool. I mean, it was a slightly different sound than last time.
It was totally different.
But definitely starter-ish. 2 out of 3 is not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not great.
No, it's not great. It's actually below average.
Yeah, but it's not bad. It's like my high school grades, basically, but a little bit better. Matt, let's just thank everybody for listening to this, episode 10.
I think we should.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Engine Noise, a podcast brought to you by 1AAuto.com, quality auto parts that ship free and have thousands of how-to videos to walk you through your installs. Thank you to our producer, Jamie Prohaska, our editor, Patty Ford, and our marketing team, Kristen Fitzpatrick and Christian Hera. We'll have another great episode of Engine Noise drop in 2 weeks. Our show drops on the 1st and 15th of every month. Be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified every time one of our episodes drops. And remember to like, follow, and share us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, do it yourself.
Continue to DIY, folks.
What happened to these cookies?
What happened to these cookies?
What?
Those are courtesy of Nelson. I guess he was walking through the parking lot and the bag broke. That's why I left them in here. Might as well just pour a little milk on there and eat them like cereal. They're pretty messed up.
But have these been on the ground?
No, I don't think so.
All right, I'm not going to have any.
Okay.
This Engine Noise podcast is brought to you by 1AAuto.com. Hit the subscribe button now so you'll know when a new episode drops. Have a question for Jeremy or Matt? Send us an email at help@enginenoisepodcast.com.
Hey, Jeremy, let's talk about our sponsor.
Do you think that we should rap about him?
I don't think so.
I think we should.
I don't think we should rap about our sponsor.
I think we need to, Matt. Oh, wait. What is that?
No.
It's happening.
No, nope.
It's happening right now.
J-Nut, drop the beat.
Hey, Matt, it's our sponsor's time. Maybe we could spit a rhyme with a storyline.
We could try it, yeah, maybe one. It's gotta be dope like Ice Cube's Bob Gun.
Your trucks are rusty, yeah, even abused. 1AAuto's got the parts and they're all brand new.
No, wait, is the shipping free?
That's right, real free like a yellow bumblebee.
1AAuto shows how to repair so many great new parts no one compares.
I think you're right, and the prices are great. 1AAuto's full of heroes and they have time to concentrate.
Large photos and videos too, they have real live humans helping you and you and you.
On YouTube, repairs are defined. All the right tools and a 1A state of mind.
You hear that, Jeremy? I said to hook you up.
To hook me up?
Yeah, they'll hook you up to hook up anybody. Free shipping's awesome.
Install videos are amazing.
Yeah, they are. Wait, I save a bunch of time.
I saved a bunch of money too.
Time and money, it's all important.
Is the rap over?
I don't know, I hope so.
1AAuto.com. Save money. Free shipping. Do it yourself. DIY. The music isn't fading out. Fade the music. Fade out. 1AAuto. Fade out. 1AAuto. 1AAuto.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward, wasn't it?
Yeah.